I'm happy with this, Peps. I like the start, but I feel like I should owe you a proper welcome for a flashback to how we all started. Welcome to the podcast, everyone. My name is Christopher Pepper, and I'm really enthusiastic about the football. And I want to welcome you to our sister podcast called Tipped Out. Is that right, Chris? Is that how it went? Something like that?
Yeah, you're pretty much on the mark, mate. If you go back to episode 1, which started with first episode of Lace Out with my son, who was about 5 at the time, going, "Welcome to Lace Out with your host, Christopher Pepper." And then, yeah, it sort of went on a little bit about that. It was almost like my agates hadn't dropped and I was going through puberty at that particular stage. But, yeah, let's just say we were a little bit nervous heading into the wonderful world of podcasting. But, yeah, thank you for bringing up those memories. I've been seeing someone for the last 4 or 5 years trying to get that out of the system, and you've just undone all the good work there, my friend.
That's okay. We've got a cracking podcast ahead of us, Peps. We've got tips, and then that's it for today.
That's about it. And you know what? Based on our last week's results, it's probably a good thing that that's exactly it too. So, hey, look, there's a massive game coming on Thursday night. It's as simple as this. Whoever loses is 0-2, and their bite for the season ending finals campaign is going to be in a little bit of trouble. Carlton versus Collingwood, 7:20 at the MCG. Geez, it was good to go back to the G. I love going to the G. Everybody loves the G. It's going to be an absolute cracker of a game. And I'll tell you what, Jamie, it's simply going to be this. The team that I'm going to pick is the Navy Blues. Because if I look at the two teams last week and what they served up, one had a crack. One failed at the last leg of the game, being Carlton. And Collingwood just poo. They've got no speed. And I think they're going to be going 0-2 and kiss those finals campaigns goodbye for this year.
Yep, and Carlton are going to roll out their hot recruit of the summer.
Zachy Williams. Ooh.
That's right.
He's even got like a rock star name to go with that, rock star ability too. So that is going to be a belter of a game. You know what I'm just looking forward to? I'm just looking forward to a little guy by the name of Sam Walsh just to do what he did last week. He was running around causing chaos, and like I've said before, in our Blue Abroad season preview, Terry, who is the man when it comes to Carlton, said that he will be Carlton's best player by the end of the season. And I sort of laughed at him, thinking, better than Cripps? He goes, he will be better than Cripps by the end of the year. And from what I saw last week, he's not far from the mark. So T from TBA, he actually knows his stuff. So if you haven't had a chance, listen to that, Blue Baggers. But yeah, I think the Blues are going to win this, and I'm tipping them quite considerably because if I had to pick Sard or Side Bottom, who are the two main inclusions, I'm going with Zach Williams. Sorry, not Sard. Yep, I'm going with the Blue Baggers, and there'd be nothing better than Collingwood people, pulling out their leftover teeth, getting frustrated and getting angry. There's nothing better. Football's better when Collingwood supporters are angry. Just not behind them and prelim final weekend like I was last year.
Yep.
Probably not a good suggestion to do.
No, don't do that.
All right,
Carlton for me.
You reckon Carlton for me? Carlton for you. All right. Hey, you know what? I never thought I would say this, but heading into tomorrow night's game at GMHBA Stadium, the loser of this game is going to be 0-2, and they're going to be finding it very hard to get back into finals contention. But we're talking about two teams that we thought would be at the pinnacle of the ladder. I know it's only 2 rounds in, but there's only like an 8% chance if you're 0-2 that you make it back to finals.
Yep.
Did you know that?
I did. Yeah, I did know that. Yep, I knew that about 15 seconds ago.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at the Cats now. They've dumped one of the Guthries, Josh Jenkins. They've dumped him as well too. Brought in a new guy for his game. Brisbane haven't won there for 18 years. And I'm going to go with Brisbane. I'm going with the Lions. If I have to look at the two teams, Dad's Army versus the Young Cubs, I think the Young Cubs will be able to bounce back. That was un-Brisbane-like, the performance last week. And I just don't rate Geelong. I'm sorry. I just don't rate them, even though I put them in my top 4. I don't rate them. I don't know why I did it. Geelong supporters are going to shoot me down when they hear this, but I just think that you're too slow. Yeah, you're playing at your home ground, But at 7:50 p.m. tomorrow night, I don't think the Brisbane Lions fear you, and you've got to stop this guy called Joe Danaher.
Yep, I'm with you.
Yep, no Cameron again tomorrow night.
No,
Tomahawk's going to have to do it all by himself on the best fullback. I don't think Geelong have got enough firepower. And the ghosts of finals past, Gary Rowan will probably be playing and he might do something, but that's about it.
Yep. So, also, take a moment here to just wish Josh Jenkins the best in his life after football, because I don't think he's going to be sticking around after this year. He got omitted. I think if you can't make it with no forward in that forward line structure, catch you later, champ.
I've got a feeling why, because he's not in his mid-30s. That's why he didn't get a game. And that's the only theory. It's not form-based. It's age-based.
Right.
And age-biased. If you didn't have a 32, 33-year-old, I reckon no good at all. So, we're both going with Brisbane, are we?
Absolutely.
Hey, who would have thought, after heading into the Saturday games, who would have thought that people would actually be looking forward to the Sydney Swans versus Adelaide? 1:45 SCG Saturday afternoon. Mm-hmm. Who would have been excited by that? Because I wouldn't have been, but after what I saw the Crows serve up last week, the youthfulness of them and also the youthfulness of Sydney Swans, and the bug train is back, Boudet Franklin. I reckon this could be all right. This could be a nice, quick, fast, flowing game. It could be an absolute score fest because these two teams scored in round one.
Well, I mean, Buddy's going to play his one game for the season, so $1 million for one game. I don't think even Messi's on that sort of money, is he?
No, he's on that a week.
I think Buddy's going to collect his check for $1 million this year for playing one game, and that's about it for him. But for me...
But he goes home to Jacinta Franklin every night.
And a new baby, I think, now.
Two of them. Yep. Yeah, father-son.
So, for me, unfortunately for Adelaide, lightning does not strike twice at that place. So, I'm going to go Sydney by a lot.
Sydney by a lot? Okay.
Sydney by a lot. I don't think Adelaide will replicate that.
You think they played their grand final in round one?
Absolutely, I think they did.
Okay, you reckon Tex can have another week out?
I reckon Tex will have a week off.
Well, he's played his one good game for the year, so he's due. He's due for a rest. I think he needs to get back onto the diet from the previous year when they compared him to good old Charlie Dixon. All right, so I'm going to go the Swans, but I just hope it's a good game because it would be an absolute travesty for the Swans to smash Adelaide after Adelaide put such a good show up last week.
Yeah.
That would suck nuts.
Yep.
All right, let's have a look at the next one after that. Hello, J-Dog, this is your team, the Port Adelaide. Howa versus the Essendon Bombers, the Orazio Fantasia Plate.
Yes.
Played at the Adelaide Oval, 4:35 p.m, mate. I'm going to let you lead this one off because it's your team.
Sure. So if you're going to the game, get in early, book your tickets because you'll have to. I think that's what SA management are making you do. But I don't see a way that Essendon can beat Port Adelaide in this game other than having a Adelaide-esque like game. I think Port Adelaide are too fast across the ground. Yes, we don't have Connor Rosie back this week, but I mean, not really needed. And I think that Orazio Fantasia is going to kick 5 this week. And Charlie is going to kick 4.
Is this your omen bet for an over 39.5 margin? Put your dollars on it. This could be a good multi-game. Orazio to kick 3. Dicko to kick 3, both you to have over 30, over 39.5 points, mate. You could have your mortgage paid off by that time.
I don't think much of this game. I think the odds are going to be pretty blown out. I mean, 115 on Sportsbet is about as low as it goes for AFL betting.
Yeah, well, it's but it's better than bank interest.
10 cents on the dollar, not much.
Better than bank interest. It's as simple as that too. But I'm going with Port. It's too hard to look. Look, you guys, in my eyes, are the flag favourites, regardless of what anyone says. I just think you've got some brutality about you. You've got some spunk about you. Having the ski double up down back, Alair. He's just going to add an extra string to your bow. And then last but not least, Orazio running around that forward line. He just looks like a person who was made to wear the teal. It's as simple as that.
Well, that's a nice thing to say, Pep. Thank you.
Well, it's a nice thing because you're a nice guy and I do respect your team. Rightio. Now, if you want to talk about respect, the game on Saturday night between St Kilda and Melbourne, 7:25 p.m. at Marvel Stadium is a game to celebrate the life of Danny Frawley, Spud's game, a man who was respected throughout the competition. And so if you can't donate to the cause, if you can get to the game, do so. Plenty of merch. Look, the T-shirts look great, but I think it's just around two teams. And I hope this is an annual game between the two teams every year because St Kilda and Melbourne have had very similar roads over the last 50, 60-odd years. Haven't been able to pinch that next flag for St Kilda. Melbourne have been stuck on 12 since 1964. They've been stuck on one since 1966. So, it'd be great for the two teams to come forward. Funny enough, I'm looking at this game now and you've got a fast-paced St Kilda at their home deck on the Danny Frawley game. The heart would say go with Melbourne, but at the moment, just having a couple of forwards down, Harms goes out with a broken wrist. I know Viney comes in. I just think they're going to be probably a little bit quick. I know that we're going to have the ruck dominance with Gawn with that side of things, but I just think that St Kilda are going to do it for Spud. I just hope it's a really good game. Melbourne did beat them last year. Remember the game up in Darwin where Petrarca absolutely tore them a new one, kicked 4. Yeah. But the matches between the two teams have been pretty good over the last couple of seasons. But I just think the Saints, the only thing that I can see that's stopping the Saints was the hard slog that they had last Sunday against GWS.
Yeah.
That might play a factor late in the game. A bit of heavy legs, harder ground. I'm not too sure. So, but I'm just going with St Kilda. Just a feeling between the ears on that one.
I'm going for Melbourne.
What?
I don't know that's the Danny Frawley game, but I'm never going to not refer it to the Pepper Crawford Cup. And we might hear from the other half of that
tell
shield.
You what. If if they win, you will hear from the old toilet clogger himself. He will go absolutely nuts. And if they lose, you won't hear a word from old Tommy C. So got plenty of St Kilda supporters out there. Your club is definitely going in the right direction. We're going all right too. Like I said, you're going the Saints. I'm going the Saints. You're going the D's. Look, if Melbourne win, fantastic. If the Saints win, so be it.
Another win for the good win category to keep us going.
Could you imagine that? It's just one more tick the board going to say we got that one right. All righty-o. Okay, let's go. Let's take it north. Let's go to the Metricon Stadium. 8:10, Gold Coast Suns versus North Melbourne. North.
They showed a bit of spunk.
Pardon?
They showed a bit of spunk last week.
They showed a bit of spunk. I don't think they showed much blown away. They got blown away. Suns are a bit of a different team, so I don't think this is going to be as much of a blowout. Matt Rowell can't take a trick at the moment. He's gone down again, so that's another travesty because you just want to see the good players out there. I just think Gold Coast on their home deck, they showed a hell of a lot against West Coast last week and just fell away towards the end of the game. I think they got more tenacity. They just got more on the park. They've got more experience. I like the way that Stewie Jew's got this team going, and I'm going with the Suns at Metricon, first home game for the year. I just hope North don't get blown away because that's what David Noble doesn't need, that's what the players don't need, and that's what the supporters don't need as well too. But it's just a bit hard to go past the Suns on this one.
Yeah, you said it best. I'm going for Suns as well.
Yep. All righty. Let's get into the Sunday games. Wow. The Comeback Kings, Hawthorn, take on the Tigers at the MCG, 1:10 p.m. Look, if Hawthorn can do what they did last week, I still don't think they're going to stand a chance against Richmond. Richmond just did what Richmond do last week. They just win. And
another gear.
They'll just take it up another gear. They'll just go at their normal rate. They'll do their role. They'll play their jobs. They'll let Dusty be Dusty. No one will tag him. Tom Mitchell will have 40 and they'll still lose by 40. So I think Richmond are going to win and win quite easily on this one. I can't see anyone getting near them this weekend. Hawks, you're going to have a crack, but you can't do what you did 2 weeks in a row. Essendon are a little bit different to Richmond.
Yeah, Richmond are going to win this by a lot.
All righty-o. Whoa. 2 more games, and we're talking about the Western boys here. We've got the West Coast Eagles versus the Western Bulldogs at Marvel Stadium. Jeez. I reckon that if I thought St Kilda at Marvel Stadium would be one of the toughest road trips you could have, I think the Western Bulldogs with their midfielder. It's like walking into a Rolls-Royce dealership. Oh, do I want the Bont? Do I want the McRae? Would you like a Dunkley? Hey, we've got a Libber over here. They are just phenomenal. Oh, by the way, there's a Bailey Smith. Have you seen him? He's a quite new one. He's quite nice at the front, but geez, it's crazy out the back. They were just phenomenal against Collingwood last week. West Coast were pretty good. Like, they've got the three tall towers down there, Kennedy, Darling, Oscar Allen, who, mind you, surprised me last week with what he was able to do. I didn't see that coming. West Coastal supporters will say, yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I just think that the Western Bulldogs on the home deck are going to be too quick for a slightly aging Eagles. The only thing I can see where Eagles coming across is if their forwards get a hold of the junior backline for the Doggies. But yeah, I'm definitely going the Doggies. I just think they got too much weaponry through that midfield.
Yeah, unless West Coast Eagles get that really nice transition play, kick to kick, mark to mark. Western Bulldogs, as you saw last week, they just seem to have that 2016 spunk back where they're getting those 2 or 3 handballs to get the ball outside and then they're just off. So I'm liking the Western Bulldogs as well, unless West Coast can have an amazing transition game. But for me, Western Bulldogs.
And they've got Caleb Daniel. Like, you look at him, if you turned up to the footy and go, who's the little guy in the helmet? He's just laser-like. Just the way he moves the ball around. He's their I hate that term because we don't like it. He's their quarterback. He just slices and dices. He's Chen Kenichi on Iron Chef. He just serves it up on a platter for the rest of his team every single week. Who's not been serving it up, who didn't serve it up at all last week, was the Fremantle Dockers. Thank goodness they're playing at home this week. They're playing at home against the GWS, 6:10 p.m. Sunday afternoon up there. So it's definitely going to be a night game. Who do you pick with this one? Because if you look at both of them, they're both a shell of their former selves. One's due to injury, and the Giants, they've just lost too many players, and they've just come straight back to their pack. Their premiership clock, the batteries are gone, mate. It's run out.
Yeah, that was I think the wet weather really helped the Giants last week against St Kilda, immensely, because they just are shot. I think they're shot. I just don't think they've got that firepower anymore. As I said, the last 3 years, too many stars have left that club. And they've also shown on the field, other than their grand final appearance, that something's not right. Something is not right. It's Leon Cameron, whether it's a staffing, whether there's just player issues, thinking they're better than they are. I don't know what it is. Fremantle Dockers, on the other hand, I don't know where they're at. I can't read the Freo Dockers right now. I don't know if they're rebuilding or they're just on the way down. I don't know.
I wouldn't say that they're rebuilding. I think that they've got a bit of spunk about them. Like last week, if you go through some of the names that I watched, Brayshaw, sensational. Chera, he's got some spunk about him. You also have, they were the two major ball winners. James Aish, I know he's gone to his third club, but he seems to have found his form there. Nat Fyfe, you can't stop a legend in his sake. Ethan Hughes was a new guy in there. Then you also got like Luke Ryan. Caleb Sarong is a gun. Look, he's Schultz down forward. Tabernar. Yes. So they've got players who can play the game. Just unfortunately, they've just got too many injuries. If you go through their injury list, Michael Walters is a game winner for that mob. Like, without him in the team and Rory Lobb, but you put Rory Lobb down there, you got the tallest defender to him. Tabernar gets a second, and it just flows on from there. But when your number 3 or 4 forward is going against the number 2 or number 1 backman, it's going to make it tough across the board too. So I think they just need to wear it out. And Alex Pearce, he hasn't played a game since Jesus played centre-half back for the Jerusalem Thirds, comes back and then has an ankle injury. Like, the poor guy just can't get a run of it. Yeah. I just think that the GWS are going to be too strong. But once again, it's one of those games that I would not be surprised if Fremantle are able to get across the line because it's in Perth. And so I'm actually going to go Fremantle on this one. Don't ask me why, but I don't think they were as bad. I tell you what, if they'd kicked straight in that first quarter, Melbourne would have been in a very, very different position than they are this week. Yeah. I totally agree. It's just, for me, it's a flip of the coin, and I'm going to go for Freo because I'm just completely off the Giants this year. Yeah, it's the funny thing is, though, if you have a look at it, though, the last 3 games that they've played, they've split them. Giants smashed them last year. Fremantle beat them the year before. at GWS, and then GWS beat them by about 5 before that. So, they don't have close games.
Yeah.
I just can't see anyone kicking a bigger score than the Dockers, unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right, easy that. Hey, dude, that's it. That's tipped out. Geez, that was easy this week, wasn't it? 15 minutes. We give you your tips. You have a bit of a laugh. And then you actually get to look at us at the end of the week and go, they've either got no idea what they're talking about, even when they listen to us on a Tuesday night and realise that we have no idea what we're talking about. But hey, you know what? Everybody listening to this, thank you very much. It's our tips. It's tipped out with Jamie. It's tipped out with Peps. Tune us in 8 o'clock on our Facebook page, Lace Outs Podcast on Facebook. It's how you want your footy. We go live every Tuesday night. Be there. If you can't listen to us then, you're on Spotify. We're on the podcast. We love you. You love us. And it's as simple as that. So have a great week. Hope your team wins and enjoy the footy.
See you, listeners.